Well, good evening. This is Julie White here, live from Pennsylvania. And I'm super excited tonight because we have an amazing presenter tonight that's going to share some awesome information. And I'm actually going to pull something up to share his bio here. So let me see. Okay, so this is Activation Education tonight by Dr. Arthur Lupsha, and he's incredible. I heard him sharing last week on another Zoom, and he did an incredible job. I happen to be a little bit of a science geek because my husband's been in the science field for a number of years, and he's always talking to me about science. So Arthur is an expert in health and science. He's been a doctor of physical therapy for 29 years. He and his wife Kelly own OC Neuro Rehab in California. And I love what they specialize in. They specialize in traumatic brain injury and stroke, and they're able to help a lot of people that have had those problems. And over the past 9 years, they have educated people on how to have optimal cellular health through nutrigenomics and by activating wellness. So it's definitely an honor and a privilege to have you on here, Arthur. I so appreciate you taking time out of your busy, important schedule, but we're really excited to hear you share tonight. So I'm just going to turn the time over to you.
Julie, thank you so much for that wonderful invitation, and I really appreciate you guys having me on here tonight. I hope that what I share with you, you find helpful and useful. This is pretty much my general opportunity presentation overview with my sprinklings of science thrown in. So we've got a lot of information to cover in a very short period of time today. So we're going to skip a few things that you guys have probably seen before, or for those guests that might be on, these are things that whoever invited you can share with you after the fact. Okay, so let me share screens here, everybody. All right. Well, this is myself. I'm Arthur Lupsha, my wife, Kelly. We are physical therapists by background, as you heard. And, usual proper disclosures, right, from LifeVantage. Okay. We are not going to watch the ABC Primetime Special Report right now. That is something I will ask if you've not seen this before. Please go back and watch this because this is where it all began. This truly blew me away when I got to see this. And it really sets the scene for where we are today. So let's just talk about that without actually watching it right now. But this all started with Dr. Joe McCord back in 1968 when he was a doctoral student at Duke University. And he was part of a group that co-discovered the enzyme SOD, superoxide dismutase. And he recognized it had the strange function of scavenging free radicals, just gobbling up those bad guys that cause problems in our bodies. So over the next 30 plus years, he actually was on a mission to help our bodies make more of this incredible enzyme SOD. And he started with pharmaceutical agents. He didn't like the side effects. He moved on to nutraceuticals. And it took him till 2003 to actually have Protandim NRF2 activator in a product that could be launched in the marketplace. In 2005, ABC Primetime News heard about this product that claimed it could reduce that oxidative stress, that rusting of our cells by an average of 40% in just 30 days. And they said, yeah, right, prove it. But we're not going to give you 30 days. We're only going to give you 14. And that's the video that we just skipped over right now. But John Quinones went in, had his blood markers checked, took Protandim NRF2 for 14 days. And when they rechecked his markers for inflammation and oxidative stress, his oxidative stress markers were reduced by 45%. Absolutely incredible. Company totally took off, exploded, and subsequently fell flat on its face when they were unable to keep up with the demands. And by the time they got production and supply into the right channels, they missed the boat. From 2005, when that new piece aired, to 2009, the company went $8 million in the hole. They called in a consultant to sell the company. And he watched that ABC News piece. He looked at the patents and the research that were already in existence. And he said, you don't need to sell your company. You simply need to change your marketing strategy. You need to be in person-to-person distribution. After much wrangling, the corporation and the board of directors finally agreed. We switched from retail sales to direct sales in 2009. We're still a publicly traded company, which I absolutely love. And universities and medical institutions around the world began self-funded research on Protandim Nrf2 Synergizer, which is absolutely incredible. So really quickly, what is oxidative stress? Why is this a problem? What causes it? Simply, if you were to cut an apple in half or an avocado in half, Julie, and you leave it on your counter for 20 or 30 minutes because you get distracted by a phone call, when you come back to it, what's happened to it? It's turned brown, right? Yeah, so it's literally rusting, okay? And the same thing happens in our bodies, whether it's the food we're eating, the water we're drinking, the air we're breathing, too little exercise, too much exercise, toxins from our environments, those Wi-Fi's, EMS, medications, and so much more are all creating an imbalance in our bodies with too many free radicals and too much oxidative stress and inflammation. This, when uncontrolled, affects every single organ system in your body. Okay, free radical damage and oxidative stress affects every single organ system in your body, and in turn can be linked to hundreds of diseases. So what's so amazing about this, and what I first saw when I finally agreed to listen to this, was that this little yellow pill, this Protandim Nrf2 Synergizer, is clinically proven to lower oxidative stress, that rusting of your cells, by an average of 40% in just 30 days. And I simply thought to myself, wow, if I can reduce my oxidative stress, that may reduce my risk of hundreds of diseases. Why wouldn't I want to take that? I mean, wouldn't you want to reduce your risk of disease? It certainly makes sense to me. I think of it as I have car insurance to protect my car. I have homeowners insurance to protect my house. I have health insurance to protect my health, or at least the damage to my wallet that health problems might cause. But why not insure my cells? And literally for $50 a month with Protandim Nrf2, I am basically providing cellular insurance. Okay, absolutely incredible. We see that it increases that SOD that Dr. McCord was first looking at by about 30%, catalase, another antioxidant enzyme in your body, by 54%, and glutathione by up to 300%. And interestingly enough, from a study done by the National Institute of Aging, this is the only dietary supplement to have ever been proven to actually have an impact on extending lifespan. Absolutely incredible. So what I love about this is not a supplement. This is an activator. We are talking microdosing of ingredients in these activating products. Most people in the supplement industry would look at these products and the amount of ingredient in each one and say, this won't do anything. It's not enough. And if this were a supplement, they'd be right. This amount of turmeric on its own isn't going to do a whole lot in your body. What's critical is the recipe. And so when you take these 5 ingredients, green tea, bacopa, milk-thistle, turmeric, and ashwagandha, in this exact recipe, it's 1,800 times more effective than just taking any one of them on their own as a supplement. Truly incredible, mind-blowing stuff. So traditionally, we thought about fighting free radical damage with antioxidants, right? But one molecule of your traditional antioxidant, whether it's your oranges, your broccoli, your blueberries, acai berries, vitamin C, whatever, one molecule of your antioxidant grabs one molecule of free radical and poof, they're both extinguished. The problem is our bodies produce somewhere in the region of 1.3 to 2.4 sextillion free radicals every day. Now, I know some of you may be scratching your head. I was too. I had no idea what a sextillion was. I had to look it up. And a sextillion is 10 to the power of 21. So imagine that's a 13 with 20 zeros behind it, or a 24 with 20 zeros behind it. You cannot eat your way out of that hole. You know, I can't eat 400 oranges a day. If I could eat 500 cups of broccoli a day, my wife would probably not let me sleep in the same bedroom at night. Okay. If you had that much vitamin C, you're going to be creating vitamin C toxicity. But when you take Protandim NRF2 and you actually turn on, you upregulate the activity of your survival genes, which promotes the production of superoxide dismutase in your body, just one molecule of SOD alone has the ability to neutralize 1 million free radicals per second, every second for 24 hours. That's absolutely phenomenal. So what we're really talking about is our bodies get out of balance. We have too many things in our environment creating this oxidative stress, this free radical damage. We get out of whack. And all we're doing is leveling the playing field. We're just eliminating that free radical damage on a much higher level than we could with anything else possible. And we're just trying to recreate what we call that homeostasis. Look, it's not just us talking about it. Today, we have 28 peer-reviewed published studies on PubMed.gov. PubMed.gov is the National Institute of Health's repository for all peer-reviewed published studies. This is the gold standard in science and medicine. And we're talking about institutions like Ohio State, Colorado State University, Washington State, VCU, LSU, Texas Tech. Anyone ever heard of Harvard? Okay. Let alone some international universities like in Amsterdam, the University of Mexico, University of Montreal. This has been studied around the world. In fact, Protandim NRF2 Synergizer is the only all-natural product to have been published not once, but twice in Circulation Magazine, which is the magazine of the American Heart Association. Absolutely incredible. I love it. Washington State University, back on February 25th of 2015, this is almost 8 years ago, guys. This is old news now. They looked at a literature review of NRF2 science, and they concluded that we may be on the verge of a new literature of the health effects of NRF2, which may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. That is a massive, massive statement. Okay. Look, David Sinclair is talking about this. Dr. David Perlmutter, Dave Asprey, even Tony Robbins in his most recent publication, Life Force, is talking about NRF2 and mitochondria and NAD and what we need to do to fortify these properties in our bodies so that we have greater health span and longevity and wellness. Okay. This is not just LifeVantage talking about it. So let's touch briefly on Protandim NRF1, our second activating Protandim product. The NRF1 pathway helps support and control your mitochondrial production. So what's so interesting is most cells in our body, when they divide, when they replicate, they produce a clean, healthy, brand new baby cell. But mitochondria are different. When your mitochondria replicate, it's literally like taking a photocopy of the existing mitochondria. So if that existing mitochondria is a little fuzzy around the edges, kind of worn out, kind of tired, when you make a copy of it, guess what the copy looks like? Kind of worn out, a little fuzzy around the edges, kind of tired. Okay? And we don't want that. We want robust, strong, healthy mitochondria because the mitochondria are the powerhouse of your body. They're the powerhouse of your cells. Your mitochondria produce somewhere between 90 and 95% of all of your body's energy. So by activating this NRF1 pathway, it tells your body, repair those dysfunctional mitochondria. Wake them up, stop them from being so tired. Let's make bigger, stronger, more robust mitochondria. And most interestingly, for those mitochondria that can't be repaired, it tells your body, get rid of them. It's a process called autophagy, where your body actually gets rid of and eliminates non-productive or bad cells. Again, mitochondrial dysfunction in the research has been linked to hundreds of diseases, ranging from things like fibromyalgia and diabetes to autism and Parkinson's disease, cardiomyopathies, muscular dystrophy, Lou Gehrig's, you name it. I don't know which one of these things you might want to have in your life. I personally don't want them. So I'm going to try to avoid them, by keeping my mitochondria healthy. Okay, super, super important. Our last, most recent hero on the Protandim line is our Protandim NAD synergizer. And oh my gosh, guys, I have been so excited about this. More and more really super interesting information has been coming up recently. But what I love about this is an example of the biosynthetic pathway for creating NAD in your body. Don't worry about the biochemistry. What's important here is there are some blocks in the road. You see these big red arrows that say rate limiting or rate limiting steps? These are like the drawbridge on the road of making NAD. And when that rate limiting step is there, the drawbridge is up and your body does not produce more NAD. Okay. But a super interesting human trial was just done earlier this year, which looks at the effects of a product called NAD3, okay, and what it does. And interestingly enough, if you look at the ingredients in NAD3, you may see some surprising similarities to the ingredients in our NAD synergizer, because confidentially, it's our product. Okay, that's what they were studying. And what happens when you introduce NAD3 into the system is it actually attacks the rate limiting steps, and it eliminates the rate limiting steps, effectively lowering the drawbridge and allowing the traffic to go through to make more NAD. And that's why when you introduce this product into your body, we see an increase in the activity of a group of proteins called your sirtuins by up to 100% in 24 hours. And these sirtuins are super vitally important because they are proteins found in your cells that actually control how your DNA divides. It makes sure there's no errors in your DNA when we copy it. It makes sure the DNA wraps up nice and tight again, and it maintains the length of our telomeres, which is a collection of DNA found at the base of the chromosome. And those telomeres are vital for allowing your cells to continue to replicate. In other words, for your health span and longevity. If those telomeres get too short, which usually happens every time a cell divides, they can reach a critical size where the cell can no longer replicate. By keeping your sirtuins healthy, we keep those telomeres nice and healthy, and we also see a massive increase in NAD production in the body. Okay, so I'm going to kind of already said all this. NAD is a critical electron donor that allows for life. Okay, if you had no NAD in your body, literally you would cease to exist within about 30 seconds. So when we look at what's going on with our NAD synergizer, we actually see that we get a 100% increase in NAD and sirtuin activity in 24 hours. Now, what happens with our competition out there, those other NAD supplements? We see somewhere between a 2 and 4% increase in sirtuin activity because all they're doing is supplying more raw material. They're supplying the base units for making NAD. But what they're not doing is they're not lowering the drawbridge. So that rate limiting step is still there. And that's why the competition doesn't allow for an increase in, or a significant increase in NAD and sirtuin activity. Now, interestingly enough, caloric restriction actually allows for a 94% increase in sirtuin activity. But what is caloric restriction? Now, we're not talking intermittent fasting. Very different, guys, okay? A lot of you, anyone out there, hands up, throw a 1 in the chat. You know about intermittent fasting, yes? But understand that with intermittent fasting, all you're doing is reducing the hours, the time span in which you're consuming calories, okay? Many people who are intermittent fasting still consume the same number of calories, just in a shorter window. Caloric restriction actually involves reducing your calorie intake between 40 and 60%. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I reduce my caloric intake by 60%, Oz is going to be hangry, okay? I will not be pleasant to be around. I will be very, very hangry. And I'll be grumpy, okay? And Kelly doesn't like a grumpy Arthur. So instead of reducing my caloric intake, I simply take my NAD synergizer and I get an even better response in increasing sirtuin activity. It's literally like caloric restriction in a bottle. It's absolutely fantastic. So each one of these products on their own is incredible. Each one of them on their own has a beautiful synergy of their ingredients, making the sum of the ingredients far more effective than any one of the ingredients on its own. But what's truly fascinating is when you take all three together, there is also a synergy that occurs. So you'll see here we have three pairs of genes that we're looking at. Okay. The first two are genes that are involved with NRF2 activity. The second pair are NRF1, and the third pair is NAD. And in each one of these, the bar chart on the left of each pair is when you activate the single pathway on its own, whether it's, for instance, our antioxidant detoxification pathway, the NQO1 gene. When we activate it with protandim NRF2, we see a 40% increase in the activity of that gene. But when you activate it with the trisynergizer, we see a 78% increase in the activity of that gene. When we look at our healthy inflammatory response, it goes from 51% with NRF2 alone to 848% increase in activity with the trisynergizer. So there is a beautiful synergy when you're activating all three pathways together. Super, super, super important. Okay. Now, newest hero on the street, our liquid collagen. And what I love about this is that we have stuck with our line of activating products. Look, what is our company? What is LifeVantage all about? We are the activation company. Okay. The ship that sails LifeVantage is founded on protandim NRF2, right? Many of our products stem from the original science done all about NRF2, whether we're looking at where we branched off to the other protein pathways and activating them, whether we're looking at our skincare line, hair care line, our nootropic line, those are all based on NRF2 activation. But I love what Rachel Pekarik says about liquid collagen, is that we're still following that activation pathway, but this is a much wider net that we can throw out and bring into the fold, bring into activation people who are looking for the results of an amazing, amazing collagen. And this product is incredibly demonstrable. Okay. I'm not going to get into all the details right now, but we need to understand that this is activating your body's ability to make collagen. It's replenishing your body's sources of collagen again, and it's helping your body maintain our collagen base longer. What we have to understand is by the time we're 30, we are running a negative deficit in our collagen in our bodies. By the time we hit 40, our body's no longer making collagen unless we're turning this pathway back on. But can you believe these incredible before and after pictures? I mean, look at this lady's legs on the left. I believe that was only a 30-day change. Okay. Here's a few more here, a few more pictures. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. Truly, truly, truly remarkable results. What I didn't quite understand when I first heard that we were coming out with liquid collagen was how important collagen truly is in our bodies. I thought, like so many people, and like we saw from those pictures, the collagen was all about hair, skin, and nails. And obviously, as you can probably see looking at me, hair is not my strong point. Okay. I actually shaved my head for 6 years because my hair would get so thin at times, right? So I wasn't really concerned about a product that might improve my hair. I kind of thought it was a little passe at this point. And skin and nails, come on, I'm a guy. What do I really care about that? It wasn't my thing. But what I didn't realize when I first learned about this is 35% of all of our body's protein is collagen. Think about that for a moment. It's not just your hair, skin, and nails. It's the cartilage in your joints. It's your ligaments and tendons. It's your bones and muscles. It's every organ in your body. It's your arteries and veins, all of your vascular system. It's your lungs. Think of any tissue in your body that needs to be able to stretch and move and contract and expand. It all has collagen. When your body is injured, it repairs with collagen. Collagen is the base structural unit we use as a building tool to rebuild our bodies again. If you don't have a good supply of collagen in your bodies, you can't heal and repair properly. I didn't realize that over the past 10 years, okay, and I'm now 54, so we're talking my 40s into my 50s, my fingers, when it got cold and dry, would crack so badly and they'd be so painful that when I was trying to work with patients and hold my clients, I was in intense pain. Guess what's happened this year? I got no finger cracking. It's absolutely incredible. Okay. And don't get me wrong, all of our True Science products have really helped. The hand cream was wonderful, but I was still getting some finger cracking. I have no pain in my fingers this year. I absolutely love this. So we are the activation company. We have incredible products that fill the activation line. And these are important products when you look at our company from a business standpoint, because they're perfectly positioned in many, many different places in the marketplace. And truly, I love this card because if you don't make time for your wellness, you will be forced to make time for your illness. And for however expensive you think it might be to stay well, that doesn't come close to how expensive it is to get sick. Okay. I tell you that from experience and the people I see. So with that, I want to just touch very, very briefly on the business side of LifeVantage, because I sure didn't see this as a business when I first got involved. For number one, I said no to this for 2 years, wouldn't even look at it. And then when I finally did, I was so convinced of the science that I wanted to get this product in my own body, in my family's bodies, and I thought maybe my patients could benefit from it. I thought, well, maybe I'll make enough money from this that I'll cover the cost of my own products. Not really realizing how much more of an impact this could really have, because here I will be very, very transparent with you guys. I've been in private practice as a PT going on 23 years now. I am cash pay only. I have never billed insurance. I have never advertised. It's word of mouth only. I've never had a shortage of clients until COVID. And for the first time in my life during COVID, I had no income for 10 weeks because my patients didn't want to come in. That was terrifying. And over the course of the next 2 years, our business was down 70 to 80% in our office. If it had not been for what we had built in this company, we probably would have lost our home. But LifeVantage, our income from LifeVantage, sustained us and got us through. So I would tell anybody at this time, dig the well before you need the water. If you're waiting till you're dying of thirst before you start digging, you're in trouble. If you're waiting till you have no money in the bank to start finding another way to make money, it's too late. So this is an amazing way, if this resonates with you, that by sharing this information, you can create a leveraged income. So in our world of social media and social sharing today, people are selling so many things, whether it's their cars through Uber, their homes through Airbnb, their goods and services on Amazon, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We see social sharing and selling everywhere. It is the norm. And all we're really doing in LifeVantage is we're building a small network of loyal customers and a small network of distributors that we're linking arms with and working together. And by doing that, we end up with this incredible perfect meld of a laptop lifestyle with social sharing. There is no physical location you have to have. There is no overhead for assets or inventory. You have an online shopping portal that's created for you. You don't have to do any of the work, okay? And ultimately, you may say, okay, well, that sounds great, but how do I make money? Well, I don't want to go into details right now, but no, there are ways we get paid weekly when you first bring in a new customer or a new distributor. And there's ways we get paid on the back end where we get paid monthly when your customers continue to order over and over and over again. And there's some incredible bonuses that the company pays out as well as you go along and grow in the business. There's a number of ways you can get involved with the company, some amazing packs that are tremendous cost savings here. Okay. And again, just talk with whoever brought you here tonight and they can go over those different packs with you. But honestly, if you're looking to build a business, this is what I recommend. It's the largest of the packs. It's the elite pack. You get to sample almost all of the products in the company, and certainly all of our activating products. And the analogy I like to use with this, my wife first shared this with me. She says, imagine you're opening a restaurant. Do you want to only be able to offer your appetizers on that first night that you're open? Or do you want to have the full menu? And this is like having the full menu. The others are kind of like the appetizers. Get in where you fit in, right? Come in where you can financially. But if you're looking to build a business, this is what I recommend. Okay. We are a publicly traded company, and because of that, we have to have an income disclosure statement. And this is, the actual numbers, so you can see what can you really do with this. And I'll readily admit, I think these numbers were from last year now, so there'll be new numbers coming up soon. But whether you're just looking to make an extra, $645 a month, that could be a car payment, that could be a few bills. Kelly and I have reached the level of Pro 6 here. The average income at our level is $7,300 a month. Julie, you're a Pro 7, right? Pro 7? Okay. Average income of Pro 7, you're talking, $13,000 a month. When you annualize that's a decent income anywhere in the country for a full-time job. And it just goes on from there. Okay. So it's here for the making. Anybody can really do this. You may be asking, can I do this? Well, you've got incredible support from the company. You have smart technologies and AI apps that are already built for us. We get education. There's no business I've ever been involved with before provides the kind of education and mentorship that I see going on here in LifeVantage. You've got incredible leaders and partners to share with you and to teach you how to do this. It's truly incredible. And I love the fact that this woman, Erin Brockovich, now sits on our board of directors. And she says, if you follow your heart, if you listen to your gut, and if you extend your hand to help another, not for any agenda, but for the sake of humanity, you're going to find the truth. So that was very, very rapid tonight. I will stop the share. And Julie, I guess we could stop the recording, and we can open up for some questions. If people have some questions for me, I'll do my best.
Awesome. That was a powerful presentation, Arthur. So appreciate it. Before I stop the recording, could you just share, have you seen the activators and the collagen really make a difference in your clinic where you work with, the people that have traumatic brain injury and stroke?
Okay, so I think the best way I can describe that, with trying to stay as compliant as I possibly can, is that in any process like the ones we're dealing with in our office, we see people who are struggling with highly elevated levels of oxidative stress and inflammation. They're dealing with massive problems with mitochondrial support. Okay. Anytime we can upregulate NAD in the body, it's fantastic. And by tying a bow on all of this with collagen, that's going to really help them heal and repair and do so much better. Now, collagen is still relatively new, so from the perspective of some of my clients, it's very early days still. But some of the results we've seen with other things have been truly incredible.
Awesome. Thank you. I will stop the recording now.